Hey, it's Jim Cerone with the Perfect Host Show on DJNTV. You got the look coming up in part of the Perfect Host Top 10. In the music room, what's the word of the day? And a do-it-yourself moron marketing tip. That's all next. We're back. It's the Perfect Host Show on DJNTV. I'm the guy who's always saying you shouldn't just think of yourself as the DJ. A lot more happens at a party than just what's going on the dance floor. You shouldn't judge the success or the failure of a party just by the dance floor. A party is cocktails, dinner, dancing. At some, it's the prelude, the ceremony, the recessional, cocktail hour, dinner, dancing. And you can make a big difference if you think of yourself as the host of the entire party. That's a change in your mindset which will make a big difference and why people seek you out to be not just their DJ, but to be the host of their big party. So far we've talked about the Perfect Host Top 10. That is a house of cards that all clicks together to make you the perfect host. Number one is show prep, how important it is to know as much about the event in advance as you can. Number two is what I call game day, where you make sure you are completely ready, you're there early, you're set up, you've communicated with everyone, so we must be up to number three. Or is it three? How do you do it? Three? Either way, number three is called look the part. It's really important. People judge by covers. Whether we like it or not, it's something people instantly, automatically do. They make a judgment based on how you look. So, first you have to decide who you're trying to appeal to. Your look depends on who's hiring you, where you're playing, and what kind of events you do. And what works for me will not work for you. You do you. Figure out the style and the look that is best for you and that fits with what your clients are expecting. Here's an example of a bunch of different DJ styles. DJ Toad, Dan Blankowski, Chuck Leonard, Rob Ferre, Howard Wallach, Marcello, Mike Walter. You see how everybody has a little bit different style. If I tried to dress like my buddy Jason Jani, people would laugh me out of the room. I am always well groomed. I shave right before I leave for an event. I get my hair cut every 3 weeks. I actually prefer dressing up. I like wearing button-down shirts and ties. It's what I've worn my whole life. It's what I'm comfortable in, and it's what makes me feel confident. But it might not work for you. So choose the style that works for you. Some more things that come into number three, look the part. How do you smell? Do you smell the part? Because here in Indianapolis, our summers are hot and humid. Even though I take a shower before I go, after setup, sometimes I could use another one. So pack a full change of clothes. Yes, I mean even your underwear. Pack some washcloths. And I made a joke about it on Facebook, but sometimes it's a double deodorant day. So make sure that you smell the part. And because I have kind of a prominent Italian nose, I am very sensitive to bad breath. That's another reason I don't eat. Oh no, did I bring up that subject again? Sorry. But a good reason not to eat is because appetizers and some of the entrees have really bold flavors. Garlic and onion, and you don't want that on your breath. So make sure your breath smells good too. To accomplish that, I always have mints and gum and those little Listerine dissolving strips. Just make sure that you smell good as well as look good. It also includes your equipment. What equipment do you have? How does it look when it's set up? Not just our cables and cords taped down nice and neatly, but does your equipment look kind of scuffed up? For more on that, check out my friend Bill Herman's podcast from last week on DJNTV on when you should replace your equipment and how scuffed up your equipment might look and you don't even realize it. It's good to take a picture and then look back on it and see in the daylight how it looks. That's number 3 of the Perfect Host Top 10, and we have to get to number 10. So the next show we'll cover number 4. But next, we're going to go into the music room. It's the Perfect Host Show on DJNTV.
DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
I'm Jim Cerone. This is the Perfect Host Show on DJNTV. This week we're doing our segment of the music room in my actual music room. This has all of the albums and 12 inches that I bought when I first started, all the CDs that I then bought to replace the albums and the 12 inches that I had, and in the closet I've even got 45s and cassettes. Now, what was that word of the day I was talking about? It's relevant. I think you should be constantly looking through your library and asking, is this song still relevant? Is this artist still relevant? Is this style of music still relevant? I think that's what makes the difference between a great DJ and a good DJ. You have to have the guts to go through your library and trim the fat. Take out the songs that are irrelevant, the ones your audience just doesn't want to hear anymore. Here's a couple examples. Mumford & Sons. For a while, nobody was bigger than them. I Will Wait was their huge top 40 breakout. They've got a new album out now and a new song called Guiding Light. Song's not half bad, but I think to my general audience, Mumford & Sons has become irrelevant. Katy Perry released a pretty decent song called Chained to the Rhythm, but that stiffed, as did every other single they released from that album. Katy Perry had become irrelevant. I have a playlist that I create for each year. Right now I have one called 2018 Hits. Every week when I look through the charts, if a song has made it there, I drag it into my 2018 Hits playlist. And then, as we get into 2019, I trim down any songs from 2018 that have become irrelevant. I think you should do that with your whole library. And because I was in radio, I just automatically think of my library as currents, recurrents, and gold. Currents are songs that are out now. Recurrents are sung anywhere from the last 6 months to about 3 years. And then gold is kind of your greatest hits, and those are anything from 3 years back. So as you start thinking about your library, ask that question. Is this song still relevant? Think of it like a funnel. Some songs that go from current don't make it to recurrent, so the funnel gets smaller. Some songs that are recurrent don't make it to gold because you're constantly trimming the fat. You're trimming the songs that have become irrelevant. So the word of the day, as you look through your library, as you start to pick songs for this week's playlist, think, is this still relevant? Coming up next, your do-it-yourself moron marketing tip. The Perfect Host Show on DJNTV. I'm Jim Cerone. The moron marketing tip this week: when should you do it yourself and when should you hire a pro? One of my MacBook Pros, it's a couple years old, was running out of space on the hard drive. It actually had one of the older hard drives that spins, and I wanted to replace it with a new, faster, better SSD drive. So I called the Apple Store. They can't fit me in time for my upcoming event. So I decided, well, I could probably figure this out on my own. And so I watched a YouTube video and I ordered the proper parts, I thought, and I began to take the laptop apart on our kitchen table. My wife wasn't a big fan of that, but I thought, how long could this take? It looks easy. That's when I quickly realized I didn't have the proper screwdrivers. Very specialized screwdrivers needed the right tools for this particular project. So I had to stop, leave the mess on the kitchen table, and head out to buy the right screwdrivers. Came back, began to dive in, and that's when I realized I hadn't ordered the proper enclosure, the little plastic part that goes around the SSD drive that makes it fit in the laptop. I ordered the wrong one. So now that mess sat on the kitchen table for a couple of days. I was very unpopular with my wife until the part came in. Then I was able to finish and put it back together. It works great, but it took me a long time. At a luncheon this week, the speaker said something that really stuck with me. Most of our clients have more money than time. How about your clients? Sometimes they do it yourself out of desperation because they can't find the right person to help them. But if they have more money than time, you can be the solution. You can be the craftsman who has the right tools, the experience, and the know-how, those little tips and tricks that only come from doing this for a while. So think about that and how you could work that into your marketing. That's it for this week's episode. I'm Jim Cerone on DJNTV. I'll see you next week for more of The Perfect Host Show. I almost forgot. If you have comments or questions or suggestions on what you want to hear in future shows, drop that right here. See you next week.